It's me. I'm live. Live and in a wig. How you guys doing? Can't decide if I should have put on more eyeliner or more any lipstick, but you know, wig giveth and wig taketh away. And wig getteth tangled. Back to VILLETTE, which I'm actually pretty excited about as far as live reading goes. I'm much more excited about Chuck Tingle, but I think if we do that too often, it's gonna. Oh, I'm Laura's cousin, Madeline. My hair was like really bad. So bad. I couldn't do anything with it. So I wigged up, darkened my eyebrows, powered through. Oh, we got food and devils for the cat. That sounds good. So to remind you of last week, but not of the entire book, because we're kind of too far through. Last week we met Dr. John. No, we didn't. Sorry. We met Dr. John the chapter before. Just dust. Hi, Jessie. Last chapter. Why did the brightness go down on my screen? That's peculiar. Usually only does that if it unplugs itself. Then it says it's plugged in. Don't know. Okay. The only problem is if it's unplugged, it will die very shortly. Thank you, Jessie. Oh, did you? Got to get some of that Essence brow gel. It's like a little comb. Just comb some color onto your eyebrows, and you think, that's not actually making any difference. And you comb some more color on, and then you look up and you're Rowan Atkinson. And you wipe off some of it and wipe off some more of it, and it never quite looks right. Pretty good. So last time on VILLETTE, oh yeah. So Dr. John is now the main doctor for the whole girls' school, being a young, handsome Englishman, which I feel is a very bad move on Madame Beck's part, but she totally wants to get with him, and she can't because she's too old. And Lucy makes a big deal out of like having to watch her pull one white hair out. And she's like, time had come to make a hag of her. And it's like, wait, isn't she 35? I'm 35. Did you? When did you paint your eyebrows on? Was it for play school? I'm going to have to look you up. I keep meaning to, and I keep forgetting. But don't feel unimportant, Nick. I keep meaning to call my family and never do, so doesn't mean that you're less important. And after all that, I didn't take put on my lip balm. Oh, on stage. Yeah, everyone got super, super into eyebrows at the same time. And contouring then eyebrows. You're nowhere near low on my priorities list. Put it that way. Sorry, I'm looking for a lip balm that isn't tinted and can't find one, so. Nivea Blackcurrant Shine. You can get it from the supermarket. And I did. So we've got about another 5 minutes. Yeah. I'm really tired. Last night we were playing D&D, and just before we even started as a group, I went, oh no, I'm having cramps. I just started having cramps just now. And it was true and very dramatic, which my body likes to be. But then the whole rest of the time I was super paranoid because I thought, does everyone think I'm faking? Why would they? And then I got annoyed because if people think that's how I fake having cramps, then that shows a basic lack of respect for my deceptive abilities. And I went round and round in my head about it, but luckily the cramps got so bad they just hurt. And I wasn't thinking about anything. When? Oh, it was absolutely real. I do things dramatically, even things that are involuntary and should not be dramatic. So that was my evening and night. And today they're a bit better. And Naibi's just been like glued to my side all day, which is kind of nice. It's only 6 minutes in. I don't really want to start without, everybody. This is really cool. This wig is looking blue on camera. It's not. Come on, darling. Come on. Ow. Sorry, that was Flora calling me from outside. It's been raining for days. I should have brushed this fucking thing. Anyway, how you guys doing? Oh shit, I was going to tell you guys something. I forgot what it was. Oh, it was a book. Hang on. I have to swap the books I'm using to prop this up. I really should have bought that Morticia Addams dress, but never mind. Who was Dracula's father? And other questions. Other puzzles in Bram Stoker's Gothic masterpiece. This is part of my birthday present from my friends, and it's brilliant. It's such a perfect book for me because it's got all these questions like, is Dracula Vlad the Impaler? What color is his moustache? Why does Van Helsing swear in German? And basically, they're just like, well, the book is very confusing. We don't know the answer. And if we did, probably wouldn't matter. And I was just like, yes, this is my kind of scholarship. You just write down, hey, Dracula's dad, is that anything? Send tweet. That's my kind of academia. Swap the books out again. So it's, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. What else? Oh, while I was having cramps and being very emotional, is that the word? I don't know. But I was reading more of The Mirror and the Light, the last book in Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall series. I love it so much. And it helped take my mind off it. Oh, damn. That's right, I'm going to have to... I forgot I'm going to have to speak some French during VILLETTE, because Charlotte Bronte and her wisdom put a ton of it in. Don't want to have a dry mouth to speak French. For me, anyway. Right, 9:17. We're looking good. Doing a last cat check. TOEFL. I took German for a year because it was sixth form. And I didn't want to take any of the sixth form classes. So I was like, can I please sit in on third form German? Because I love learning languages. It's really important to me. And also they only have 3 periods per week rather than other classes which have 5. And the teachers were like, yes, you are really good in French, so definitely you can do German. And I went through 3rd and 4th form curriculum in that class, and I got 2 periods a week where I just didn't have anything to do. And the best part is, enjoying learning languages actually wasn't a lie. Donner und Blitzen. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst German swear word there is. It expresses a desire for 2 of Father Christmas's most trusted colleagues to be sent to hell. It's the worst thing you can say in German. All right. VILLETTE, chapter 12. Actually, no, not VILLETTE, chapter 12. Paging Evelyn, because we're starting at a completely different time than usual. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh. I got a text saying, "Hi, it's taxi driver. You left your socks and water bottle in the car. Let me know what to do next." And I forgot about it. Yeah. You can throw them away. They were meant for the bin. So sorry. There we go. I'm not just throwing socks away. These were the socks I was going to put over my boots in case there was ice. Okay. Now I'm paging Evelyn. VILLETTE. Or BILLETTE. No, VILLETTE. Okay. We'll be able to start soon. Last cat check. It's getting quite scary in my bedroom at night. I mean, it always is, because I live there. But there are 3 cats sleeping there in various places. And they all hate each other so much. No, they're not good socks. They're trash socks. I was meaning to wear them over my shoes to beat the ice. But there wasn't any ice, and I intended to throw them away afterwards anyway. So, right. Now we're 12 minutes in, but that's okay. I've been fascinating. No, I haven't. I've been very boring. Yes, they were terrible socks. They were socks just abandoned by their owner, and now they're probably making a terrible Pixar. You're there. Can you guys still see and hear me? My connection went unstable for a second there. Yeah, there she is. I'm doing it at a non-standard time. So, pretty sure people would have not known what was going on thanks to Twitter's amazing algorithm that shows you everything except the people you follow and the threads you bookmark. So you can see and hear me? I'm back. Okay, hang on. Oh dear, because to me. And happy birthday to you too, my friend. We are pretty much ready to start now. If everyone's ready. Are you sitting comfortably? Nobody. I'm going to go on the stream and just sit and wait until somebody says, yes, I'm sitting comfortably. And I'll go, oh, thank you. Thank you for actually answering a question. Anyway, VILLETTE, chapter 12, The Casket. Oh, I'm sorry about that. My internet's probably bad too because of the rain. But you can hear me okay? I'm not doing, sight gags like I did with Twilight, Life and Death. As long as you can hear me, it's fine. I'm going to assume. Behind the house at the Rue Fossette, there was a garden. Large, considering that it lay in the heart of a city. Okay, good. Oh, my internet goes in and out all the time when it's raining. It's not a problem my landlord really is addressing. It's fine. Hey, Mr. G-Man 3546. I assume you are the FBI agent who watches me through my computer, in which case, I'm sorry for the things you've seen. And I understand if you feel you don't need eyes to see my posting. I know, cheese it, it's the cops. Just like whatever you're holding, just swallow it. It's fine. No, welcome. The bodybuilding forums. No, I never want to see that argument about how many days in a week ever again. It was horrifying. It was amazing. Okay, sorry. We're going to start it properly, actually. Chapter 12, The Casket. Behind the house at the Rue Fossette, there was a garden, large considering that it lay in the heart of a city. And to my recollection at this day, it seems pleasant. But time, like distance, lends to certain scenes an influence so softening, and where all is stone around, blank wall and hot pavement, how precious seems one shrub, how lovely an enclosed and planted spot of ground. I need to buy a dust assassin. I need to buy John Wick, but for dust. I don't know if that's a thing. I mean, it is a thing. It's a cleaner, but I'd be too ashamed. There went a tradition that Madame Beck's house had in old days been a convent. That in years gone by, how long gone by I cannot tell, but I think some centuries, before the city had overspread this quarter. No, you're not going to sit with me then. Little madam. Before the city had overspread this quarter, and when it was tilled ground and avenue, in such deep and leafy seclusion as ought to embosom a religious house, that something had happened on this site which, rousing fear and inflicting horror, had left to the place the inheritance of a ghost story. You going to come up here, sweetie? Flora? You want to come here? Do you want to see your friends? Come on. Flora. Give me a kiss. Oh, give me a kiss. That's right. Come on. Come and see the people. I have to stop wearing black on these streams. There she is. There she is. Show them your face. Show them your face. No, don't. There. Is that better? That better? Yes, I know. Do you want to read it? Okay, you read to the people. Oh, I love her. Oh, she'll show you her bum. She'll show it to you when you least expect it, or want to see it. She learned it all from watching me, didn't you, darling? Oh, God, look at you. You womble. Oh. You can't go under my hair, my love. Let's pretend. I think she's smelling my hair. All right. A vague tale went of a black and white nun sometimes, on some night or nights of the year, seen in some part of this vicinage. Not a word I've seen before, but guess. The ghost must have been built out ages ago, for there were houses all round now, but certain convent relics in the shape of old and huge fruit trees yet consecrated the spot, and at the foot of one, A Methuselah of a pear tree, dead, all but a few boughs of which still faithfully renewed their perfumed snow in spring and their honey-sweet pendants in autumn. You saw in scraping away the mossy earth between the half-bared roots a glimpse of slab, smooth, hard, and black. The legend went, unconfirmed and unaccredited, but still propagated, that this was the portal of a vault, imprisoning deep beneath that ground, on whose surface grass grew and flowers bloomed, the bones of a girl whom a monkish conclave of the drear Middle Ages had here buried alive for some sin against her vow. Oh, it's a proper scary chapter. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Is it my makeup? Is it somehow delicious to you? Oh, we're nearly through one page. Good work, Flora. Her shadow it was that tremblers had feared through long generations after her poor frame was dust. Her black robe and white veil that, for timid eyes, moonlight and shade had mocked as they fluctuated in the night wind through the garden thicket. Independently of romantic rubbish, however, that old garden had its charms. There's Lucy. Summer mornings I used to rise early to enjoy them alone. Flora doesn't groom me. I'm not baby. Flora doesn't groom anyone else. I think she just thought my concealer was food. I am baby, though. That's true. On summer mornings, I used to rise early to enjoy them alone. On summer evenings, to linger solitary, to keep tryst with the rising moon, or taste one kiss of the evening breeze, or fancy rather than feel the freshness of dew descending. The turf was verdant, the gravelled walks were white, sun-bright nasturtiums clustered beautiful about the roots of the dotted orchard giants. There was a large berceau, above which spread the shade of an acacia. There was a smaller, more sequestered bower, nestled in the vines which ran all along a high and grey wall, and gathered their tendrils in a knot of beauty, and hung their clusters in loving profusion about the favoured spot where jasmine and ivy met and married them. There's a garden. Lucy's thrilled. What she's doing. Doubtless at high noon, in the broad, vulgar middle of the day, when Madame Beck's large school turned out rampant, and externes and pensionnaires were spread abroad, vying with the denizens of the boys' cottage close at hand, in the brazen exercise of their lungs and limbs, doubtless then the garden was a trite, trodden-down place enough. But at sunset, or the hour of salut, when the externe were gone home, and the boarders quiet at their studies, pleasant was it then to stray down the peaceful alleys, and hear the bells of St. Jean Baptiste peal out with their sweet, soft, exalted sound. The externe are like the day girls, as opposed to the girls who board there. At my school, all the girls were bored. Just me, probably. I don't know why she's just staring at you. But don't open your door to anyone you don't know at night, who's like 1 foot tall and has glowing yellow eyes. That's how she got big and strong. Kisses. Wasn't it? If I have cat hair on my face, I apologize. I was walking thus one evening, and had been detained farther within the verge of twilight than usual by the still deepening calm, the mellow coolness, the fragrant breathing with which flowers No sunshine could win now, answered the persuasion of the dew. I saw by a light in the oratory window that the Catholic household were then gathered to evening prayer, a rite from attendance on which I now and then, as a Protestant, exempted myself. One moment longer, whispered Solitude and the summer moon. Stay with us. All is truly quiet now. For another quarter of an hour your presence will not be missed. The day's heat and bustle have tired you. Enjoy these precious minutes. The windowless backs of houses built in this garden, and in particular the whole of one side, was skirted by a rear of a long line of premises, being the boarding houses of the neighbouring college. This rear, however, was all blank stone with the exception of certain attic loopholes high up, opening from the sleeping rooms of the women servants, and also one casement in a lower story said to mark the chamber or study of a master. There are so many kisses for Flora. It's because Naibi's been sleeping with me, like right up close with me. And that's her place in the winter, under the blankets. Which Naibi doesn't go under the blankets because she doesn't really understand it. But they can't be that close to one another. But though thus secure, an alley, which ran parallel with the very high wall on that side of the garden, was forbidden to be entered by the pupils. It was called l'allée défendue, and any girl setting foot there would have rendered herself liable to as severe a penalty as the mild rules of Madame Beck's establishment permitted. Oh, it's raining here too. The rain, it raineth every day, doesn't it? Well, it's rained every day for like 2 days. It's nice, helps me sleep. Does not help me leave the house. Teachers might indeed go there with impunity. My love, can I just move a little bit? Just want to get some padding for you there. So maybe I can hold the book like this. I think that would be all right. I'm negotiating. Try and put that down so you can see her better. Yes, I know, it's the book again. The haunted, back to the haunted alleyway. Teachers might indeed go there with impunity, but as the walk was narrow and the neglected shrubs were grown very thick and close on each side, weaving overhead a roof of branch and leaf which the sun's rays penetrated, but in rare after dusk was carefully shunned. I don't know if anyone can guess what Lucy is going to immediately do. Says my connection's unstable. Am I back? Did I go and come back, or did I not go anywhere? I'm going to assume I'm back. I can't assume, really, can I? Am I? Oh, yeah, good, I am. Thank you, Nick. Oh! Fine, I'll go back here. See, I'm back here now. I know, I was moving around too much, but look, we're live on YouTube, my love. She doesn't care. I'm just gonna keep going with this. From the first, I was tempted to make an exception to this rule of avoidance. The seclusion, the very gloom of the walk attracted me. For a long time, the fear of seeming singular scared me away. But by degrees, as people became accustomed to me and my habits, and to such shades of peculiarity as were ingrained in my nature, shades certainly not striking enough to interest. Ah, fuck you! Fuck you, Flora. Oh, I just asked if you could guess what Lucy was going to do, and it was to go down the haunted alleyway. Oh, she thinks it's okay to put her claws in me when she needs a springboard for jumping away. Yes, you do. Anyway, I yelled. I didn't hurt her or push her or anything. I just yelled when she put her claws into my leg. For a long time, the fear of seeming singular scared me away from the haunted alleyway. Keeping on topic. But by degrees, as people became accustomed to me and my habits, and to such shades of peculiarity as were ingrained in my nature, shades certainly not striking enough to interest, and perhaps not prominent enough to offend, but born in and with me, and no more to be parted with than my identity. By slow degrees, I became a frequenter of this straight and narrow path. Oh, Flora's complaining all the time, and so is Lucy. I made myself gardener of some tintless flowers that grew between its closely ranked shrubs. I cleared away the relics of past autumns, choking up a rustic seat at the far end. Borrowing of Goton, the cuisinier, kitchen's assistant, maybe, or cook? Don't think it's cook. A pail of water and a scrubbing brush, I made the seat clean. Madame saw me at work and smiled approbation. Whether sincerely or not, I don't know, but she seemed sincere. Voyez-vous, cried she. Comme elle est propre, cette demoiselle Lucie. Vous aimez donc cette allée, miss? Look here. She's very clean and tidy, this Miss Lucy. Do you like this alley, miss? Yes, I said, it is quiet and shady. C'est juste, cried she, with her air of bonté, and she kindly recommended me to confine myself to it as much as I chose, saying that as I was not charged with the surveillance, I need not trouble myself to walk with the pupils. Only I might permit her children to come there to talk English with me. Now, we've covered Madame Beck's children, how Lucy thinks they're all, really badly behaved. When things are pretty obvious from context, I'm not really going to translate too much. But basically, she was like, yeah, there you go. With an air of bonté, goodwill. Not sure. Flora's across the room glaring at me. I love you. On the night in question, I was sitting on the hidden seat reclaimed from fungi and mould, listening to what seemed the far-off sounds of the city. Far off in truth they were not. The school was in the city centre, hence it was but 5 minutes' walk to the park, scarce 10, to buildings of palatial splendour. Quite near were wide streets, brightly lit, teeming at this moment with life. Carriages were rolling through them to balls or to the opera. The same hour which tolled curfew for our convent, which extinguished each lamp and dropped the curtain round each couch, rang for the gay city about us the summons to festal enjoyment. Of this contrast I thought not, however. Gay instincts my nature had few. I know your pain, Lucy. Ball or opera I had never seen, and though often I had heard them described, and even wished to see them, it was not the wish of one who hopes to partake a pleasure if only she could reach it, who feels fitted to shine in some bright distant sphere, could she but thither win her way. It was no yearning to attain, no hunger to taste, only the calm desire to look on a new thing. I believe you, Lucy. You don't want to actually go to the ball. It would just be kind of a novelty to go and look at a ball, and then I'd be like, not impressed, and go home. I don't believe you, Lucy. A moon was in the sky. Not a full moon, but a young crescent. I saw her through a space in the boughs overhead. She and the stars visible beside her were no strangers where all else was strange. My childhood knew them. I had seen that golden sign with the dark globe in its curve leaning back on azure beside an old thorn at the top of an old field, in old England, in long past days, just as it now leaned back beside a stately spire in this continental capital. Oh, my childhood. I had feelings. Passive as I lived, little as I spoke, cold as I looked, when I thought of past days, I could feel. About the present, it was better to be stoical. About the future, such a future as mine, to be dead. And in catalepsy and a dead trance, I studiously held the quick of my nature. Lucy is profoundly depressed. I mean, got to weigh that against everything else. At that time, I well remember whatever could excite. Certain accidents of the weather, for instance, were almost dreaded by me, because they woke the being I was always lulling, and stirred up a craving cry I could not satisfy. One night a thunderstorm broke. A sort of hurricane shook us in our beds. The Catholics rose in panic and prayed to their saints. As for me, the tempest took hold of me with tyranny. I was roughly roused and obliged to live. I got up and dressed myself, and creeping outside the casement close by my bed, sat on its ledge, with my feet on the roof of a lower adjoining building. It was wet, it was wild, it was pitch dark. Within the dormitory they gathered round the night lamp, in consternation, praying loud. I could not go in. Too resistless was the delight of staying with the wild hour, black and full of thunder, pealing out such an ode as language never delivered to man. Too terribly glorious, the spectacle of clouds split and pierced by white and blinding bolts. I feel like Charlotte had more in common with Emily than we give her credit for. But this is pretty much I'll say the heart and soul of VILLETTE. The fact that you don't know what's going on in me. You think I'm boring little Miss Lucy? Well, guess what? I'm a thunderstorm. And I get a weird satisfaction in keeping that knowledge from you, while also judging you for not being able to figure it out. I love Lucy. I love Lucy Snow so much. I did long, achingly, then and for 24 hours afterwards, for something to fetch me out of my present existence and lead me upwards and onwards. This longing, and all of a similar kind, it was necessary to knock on the head, which I did, figuratively, after the manner of Jael to Sisera, driving a nail through their temples. Unlike Sisera, they did not die. They were but transiently stunned, and at intervals would turn on the nail with a rebellious wrench. Then did the temples bleed, and the brain thrill to its core. She's so dramatic. Tonight I was not so mutinous, nor so miserable. My Sisera lay quiet in the tent, slumbering, and if his pain ached through his slumbers, something like an angel, the ideal, knelt near, dropping balm on the soothed temples, holding before the sealed eyes a magic glass, of which the sweet, solemn visions were repeated in dreams, and shedding a reflex from her moonlight wings and robe over the transfixed sleeper, over the tent threshold, over all the landscape lying without. Jael, the stern woman, sat apart, relenting somewhat over her captive, but more prone to dwell on the faithful expectation of Heber coming home. It's a Bible story I half remember. By which words I mean that the cool peace and dewy sweetness of the night filled me with a mood of hope. Not hope on any definite point, but a general sense of encouragement and heart ease. Checking for Fitz. He won't make a noise, he'll just sit there. Should not such a mood, so sweet, so tranquil, so unwanted, have been the harbinger of good? Alas, no good came of it. Presently the rude reel burst coarsely in, all evil, grovelling, and repellent as she too often is. Amid the intense stillness of that pile of stone overlooking the walk, the trees, the high wall, I heard a sound. A casement, all the windows here are casements opening on hinges, creaked. Ere I had time to look up and mark where, in which story, or by whom unclosed, a tree overhead shook as if struck by a missile. Some object dropped prone at my feet. 9 was striking by St. Jean-Baptiste's clock. Day was fading, but it was not dark. The crescent moon aided little, but the deep gilding of that point in heaven where the sun burned last, and the crystalline clearness of a wide space above, sustained the summer twilight. Even in my dark walk, I could, by approaching an opening, have managed to read print of a small type. Easy was it then to see the missile was a box, a small box of white and coloured ivory. Its loose lid opened in my hand. Violets lay within. Violets smothering a closely folded bit of pink paper. A note superscribed "Pour la robe grise," for the girl in the grey dress. I wore indeed a dress of French grey. Also, hold up your hand if you're surprised that Lucy was grey. I wear a lot of grey. Nothing wrong with it. Good. Was this a billet doux? A thing I had heard of, but hitherto had not had the honour of seeing or handling? A love letter. Was it this sort of commodity I held between my finger and thumb at this moment? Cat eyes. Nope. Did you really see them? Oh, I'm sorry. I should not doubt your word. Niobe. Yes, that's right. That's right. Good girl. Cat eyes indeed. She stretched up? Oh, she's never done that before. She must have been watching Flora. Oh, okay. Well, darling, you can't jump up here because there's no room, and also I'm really busy, okay? I gave them meat before this so she would, Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear her little... You do want to jump up. You need to make sure everyone's Kindle is very safe before we let you jump up on the chair. There you go. I don't know if she's going to come up. She's a good girl. Well, was this a love letter? Scarcely. I did not dream it for a moment. Suitor or admirer? No, darling, you got your claw stuck. Yeah, you got to draw it back. You can't just keep pulling. Suitor or admirer, my very thoughts had not conceived. All the teachers had dreams of some lover. One, but she was naturally of a credulous turn, believed in a future husband. Ooh, she's so mean. Oh yeah, all the teachers totally thought they would have a boyfriend at some point. One of them even thought she might have a husband. Yeah, good luck. I don't know. No, we're not having treats at the moment. I'm doing the thing. All the pupils above 14 knew of some prospective bridegroom. 2 or 3 were already affianced by their parents and had been so since childhood. Stop it! But into the realm of feelings and hopes which such prospects open, my speculations, far less my presumptions, had never once had warrant to intrude. If the other teachers went into town, or took a walk on the boulevards, or only attended mass, they were very certain, according to the accounts brought back, to meet with some individual of the opposite sex, don't know why that's in quotes, whose rapt, earnest gaze assured them of their power to strike and to attract. I can't say that my experience tallied with theirs in this respect. I went to church and I took walks, and am very well convinced that nobody minded me. There was not a girl or a woman in the Rue Fossette who could not, and did not testify to having received an admiring beam from our young doctor's blue eyes at one time or another. I am obliged, however humbling it may sound, to accept myself. As far as I was concerned, those blue eyes were as guiltless and calm as the sky, to whose tint theirs seemed akin. So it came to pass that I heard the others talk. wondered often at their gaiety, security, and self-satisfaction, but did not trouble myself to look up and gaze along the path they seemed so certain of treading. This, then, was no billet doux, and it was unsettled conviction to the contrary that I quietly opened it. Oh, she opened someone's love letter and then wrote like a whole page about how, look, I'm just so plain that I knew it couldn't be a love letter. So, well, not a love letter to me. So I kind of opened it. But seriously, I really didn't think it was anything. Thus it ran. I translate. Angel of my dreams, 1,000 thanks for the promise kept. Scarcely did I venture to hope its fulfillment. I believed you indeed to be half in jest, and then you seemed to think that the enterprise beset with such danger, the hour so untimely, the alley so strictly secluded. Often, you said, haunted by that dragon, the English teacher. Un véritable bégule britannique, à ce que vous dites. Espèce de monstre, brusque et rude comme un vieux caporal de grenadiers, et revêche comme une religieuse. The reader will excuse my modesty in allowing this flattering sketch of my amiable self to retain the slight veil of the original tongue. I'm going to go to the back to translate it because I don't want to get it wrong for you guys. It's not nice. Oh. A real British prude, according to what you say. A kind of monster, sharp and rough like an old grenadier corporal and bad-tempered as a nun. How nice. You are aware, went on this precious effusion, that little Gustave, on account of his illness, has been removed to a master's chamber, that favoured chamber whose lattice overlooks your prison ground. There I, the best uncle in the world, am admitted to visit him. How tremblingly I approached the window and gazed into your Eden, an Eden for me, though a desert for you. How I feared to behold vacancy, or the dragon aforesaid. How my heart palpitated with delight, when through apertures in the envious boughs I at once caught the gleam of your graceful straw hat, and the waving of your grey dress that I should recognize amongst 1,000. But why, my angel, will you not look up? Cruel to deny me one ray of those adorable eyes. How a single glance would have revived me. I write this in fiery haste, while the physician examines Gustave. I snatch an opportunity to enclose it in a small casket, together with a bouquet of flowers, the sweetest that blow, yet less sweet than thee, my Peri, my all-charming, ever thine, thou knowest well whom. I mean, horny DMs have gotten less verbose lately, but they're actually usually less annoying. I wish I did know whom was my comment. Lucy's just got no time for romance or ghosts or... I wish I did know whom was my comment, and the wish bore even closer reference to the person addressed in this choice document than to the writer thereof. Perhaps it was from the fiancé of one of the engaged pupils, and in that case there was no great harm done or intended, only a small irregularity. Several of the girls, the majority indeed, had brothers or cousins at the neighbouring college, but la robe grise, le chapeau de paille, the grey dress, the straw hat, here surely was a clue. A very confusing one. The straw hat was an ordinary garden headscreen, common to a score besides myself. The grey dress hardly gave more definite indication. Madame Beck herself ordinarily wore a grey dress just now. Another teacher and 3 of the pensionnaires had had grey dresses purchased of the same shade and fabric as mine. It was a sort of everyday wear which happened at that time to be in vogue. We knew we were looking for a basic bitch. Oh, my boy. My little prince. Come on. Come on, guys. One in, one out. I'm not holding the door forever. Noby, move away from the door, okay? Go on. Move away from the door. Fucking hell. Alright, sorry, Fitz. I gotta close the door because you can't figure it out. Seriously. I will let him in as soon as this chapter's over, but it will mean picking up one cat and fucking juggling them and throwing them into the sea. Oh, it won't because she walked around. Come on then. Come on. Good boy. Good girl, Noby. Oh, she did it so she could ambush. Well, what are they like? Ugh, Noby, she's a 12-monther, if I ever saw one. Meanwhile, as I pondered, I knew I must go in. Lights moving in the dormitory announced that prayers were over and the pupils going to bed. Another half hour and all doors would be locked, all lights extinguished. The front door yet stood open, to admit into the heated house the coolness of the summer night. From the portress's cabinet close by shone a lamp, showing the long vestibule with the two leaved drawing-room doors on one side, the great street door closing the vista. All at once, Quick rang the bell. Quick, but not loud. A cautious tinkle, a sort of warning metal whisper. Rosine darted from her cabinet and ran to open. The person she admitted stood with her 2 minutes in parley. There seemed a demur, a delay. Rosine came to the garden door, lamp in hand. She stood on the steps, lifting her lamp, looking around vaguely. Quel conte, she cried with a coquettish laugh. Personne n'y a été. There's no one's there. No one's there. Just Lucy hiding and judging us. Let me pass, pleaded a voice I knew. I ask but 5 minutes, and a familiar shape, tall and grand, as we of the Rue Fossette all thought it, issued from the house and strode down amongst the beds and walks. It was sacrilege, the intrusion of a man into that spot at that hour, but he knew himself privileged, and perhaps he trusted to the friendly night. He wandered down the alleys, looking on this side and on that. He was lost in the shrubs, trampling flowers and breaking branches in his search. He penetrated at last the forbidden walk. There I met him, like some ghost, I suppose. Dr. John. It is found. He did not ask by whom, for with his quick eye he perceived that I held it in my hand. Dr. John, you were taken on as doctor to this girls' school, and all of its young female teachers. How could the inevitable have happened? Do not betray her, he said, looking at me as if I were indeed a dragon. Were I ever so disposed to treachery, I cannot betray what I do not know, was my answer. Read the note, and you will see how little it reveals. Perhaps you have read it, I thought to myself, and yet I could not believe he wrote it. That could hardly be his style. Besides, I was fool enough to think that there would be a degree of hardship in his calling me such names. His own look vindicated him. He grew hot and coloured as he read. This is indeed too much. This is cruel. This is humiliating, were the words that fell from him. I thought it was cruel when I saw his countenance so moved. No matter whether he was to blame or not, somebody, it seemed to me, must be more to blame. Lucy, do not be a stupid, thirsty bitch. Oh my God. You know, it's whichever of these teenage girls living away from their parents seduced the doctor of the school. Totally her fault, because he would never call Lucy a dragon. Just like What shall you do about it? He inquired of me. Shall you tell Madame Beck what you have found and cause a stir, an esclandre? I don't know if that means to escalate or a scandal. I don't care. I thought I ought to tell and said so, adding that I did not believe there would be either stir or esclandre. Madame was much too prudent to make a noise about an affair of that sort connected with her establishment. He stood looking down and meditating. He was both too proud and too honourable to entreat my secrecy on a point which duty evidently commanded me to communicate. Come on, Lucy. Come on, don't let him get away with shit 'cause he's a hot idiot. I wished to do right, yet loathed to grieve or injure him. Just then Rosine glanced out through the open door. She could not see us, though between the trees I could plainly see her. Her dress was grey, like mine. This circumstance, taken in connection with prior transactions, suggested to me that perhaps the case, however deplorable, was one in which I was under no obligation whatever to concern myself. It's not deplorable if the doctor is going out with one of the people who works at the school. It's deplorable if it's, one of the girls. Anyway, it's deplorable if it's anyone. I mean, Lucy, obviously. She never expects to marry Dr. John. She would never even think about it. She wouldn't even fantasize about it. But it's not okay for anyone else to marry him either. Accordingly, I said, if you can assure me that none of Madame Beck's pupils are implicated in this business, I shall be very happy to stand aloof from all interference. Take the casket, the bouquet, and the belay. For my part, I gladly forget the whole affair. Look there, he whispered suddenly, as his hand closed on what I offered, and at the same time he pointed through the boughs. I looked. Behold Madame, in shawl, wrapping gown, and slippers, softly descending the steps and stealing like a cat round the garden. In 2 minutes she would have been upon Dr. John. If she were like a cat, however, he quite as much resembled a leopard. Nothing could be lighter than his tread when he chose. He watched, and as she turned a corner, he took the garden at 2 noiseless bounds. She reappeared, and he was gone. Rosine helped him, instantly interposing the door between him and his huntress. I too might have got away, but I preferred to meet Madame openly. Though it was my... Fitz is behind the screen looking at me. Though it was my frequent and well-known custom to spend twilight in the garden, yet never till now had I remained so late. Full sure was I that Madame had missed, was come in search of me, and designed now to pounce on the defaulter unawares. I expected a reprimand. But no, Madame was all goodness. She tendered not even a remonstrance. She testified no shade of surprise. With that consummate tact of hers, in which I believe she was never surpassed by living thing, she even professed merely to have issued forth to taste la brise du soir. The night air. Quelle belle nuit! What a beautiful night, cried she, looking up at the stars. The moon was now gone down behind the broad tower of Jean-Baptiste. Qu'il fait bon, que l'air est frais. L'air. Sorry, not l'heure. Idiot, idiot. Not idiot. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, the air's fresh. What a wonderful night. And instead of sending me in, she detained me to take a few turns with her down the principal alley. When we at last both re-entered, she leaned affably to my shoulder as a way of support in mounting the front door steps. At parting, her cheek was presented to my lips, and Bonsoir, ma bonne amie, dormez bien, was her kindly adieu for the night. Good night, my dear friend, sleep well. I caught myself smiling as I lay awake and thoughtful on my couch, smiling at Madame. The unction, the suavity of her behaviour offered, for one who knew her, a sure token that suspicion of some kind was busy in her brain. From some aperture or summit of observation, through parted brow or open window, she had doubtless caught a glimpse, remote or near, deceptive or instructive, of that night's transactions. Finely accomplished as she was in the art of surveillance, it was next to impossible that a casket could be thrown into her garden, or an interloper could cross her walks to seek it, without that she, in shaken branch, passing shade, unwanted footfall, or stilly murmur, and though Dr. John had spoken very low in the few words he dropped to me, yet the hum of his man's voice pervaded, I thought, the whole conventual ground. Without, I say, that she should have caught intimation of things extraordinary transpiring on her premises. What things she might by no means see, or at that time be able to discover, but a delicious little ravelled plot lay tempting her to disentanglement, and in the midst, folded round and round in cobwebs, had she not secured Miss Lucy, clumsily involved, like the foolish fly she was. And that is the chapter about the casket, which, if you followed the plot of the 7 pages we just read in an hour, I applaud you. Yeah, the cats have been, still are, very demanding of my attention today. I think it's just the rain. I think they're cooped up and don't like each other, and it's all getting a bit much for them, so they're howling at me to make things better. Hell am I going to do about it? So thank you, everybody, for being here, and hopefully for being able to pay attention to the text. And, yeah. Join me tomorrow, which is a Wednesday, for maybe Villette, maybe Chuck Tingle, I don't know. What are you doing, Fitz? They all want cat bickies. They all want attention. They all want the door to be open and shut day and night. They were all in love with Day, and they were drinking from a fountain that was coming from an avalanche coming down the mountain. All of them. Oh, Edward Gorey. Fantastic. Yes, I should look that up. Cats are the most gothic animal. People think it's bats, but people are wrong and stupid. Anyway, you guys, thank you very, very much for joining me. Stay safe. Look after each other. Wash your hands. Drink more water than you're drinking, I guess. I don't know. I really need a glass of water, so that's why I'm thinking about it. The Sopping Thursday. It sounds like a Chuck Tingle title a little bit. Anyway, good night, everyone. Go to bed. See you tomorrow.